All right, what's up, E? We do some more college algebra today, specifically doing exam 2, question 6 and question 7. 6, 7? No? Okay, whatever. Anyways, let's start with some math. So 6 asks us to use the substitution method to solve the following system. So let's first get the system going. System is negative 2y equals 6x minus 4, and the other is negative 9 equals 6y minus 3x. So when they're asking us to solve a system, they want us to find the x and y value respectively, and there are different methods to accomplish that. Especially when you're falling for a system, which is just basically these two equations right here. So what we can do is substitution method is find a y value using one of these equations, and then plug said y value into the other equation to find the x value. So let's go ahead and use this one to find our y value, as the way it's written makes it pretty easy, so we don't have to do any rearranging because it's y equals something as opposed to negative something equals x. You know what I mean? So it's a little easier that way. So we can go ahead and write that out. And pretty easy from here. We can just go ahead and divide by negative 2. You do it to one side, you do it to the other. So that gives us y equals negative 3x plus 2. Great. So that goes ahead and gives us this, and then we can go ahead and use this y value and plug it back into this one. We don't want to plug our y value back into the top equation, as it really doesn't do anything for us and it doesn't really help us solve anything. So when we find the y value here, we want to plug this y value we found here into the other equation. So let's go ahead and do that. Negative 9 equals 6, negative 3x plus 2 minus 3x. And what we can see here is that we only have x values here, and there are no y values, so it's actually pretty easy to find. We can go ahead and distribute the 6 out, as I would normally anyways. So negative 9 equals negative 18x plus 12 minus 3x. Let's go ahead and combine some like terms real quick. Negative 9 equals negative 21x plus 12. I'm going to go ahead and move this guy over as well, just to make my life a little easier, and so we can get a little bit of a better relationship. And that gives us negative 21 equals negative 21x. Go ahead and divide by negative 21 to clear out the x value, and we get x equals 1. So bringing this x value back to our y, we can plug that in and find our y value. So that'd be y equals negative 3 times 1 plus 2. That ends up being negative 3 plus 2, and bada boom, y equals negative 1. Boom. So we have our y and x value. So y is negative 1, and there we go. And x is 1. We can actually plug that back in to double check our answer, which I will go ahead and do right now. We're going to plug that in. So here, let me erase this one because we just double check that. Let me erase this top one. So we have our y value. Let's go ahead and plug this guy back in. So we can go ahead and plug that back into what we did earlier. So it's going to be 2 negative 1 equals 6 times 1 minus 4. This is negative 2 equals 6 minus 4. Wait. 2. Oh, sorry. My bad. It's a negative 2. That's why I messed up. Yeah, that would actually be a positive 2. My bad. That would be 2 equals 6 minus 4. 2 equals 2. Bada bing, bada boom. Pretty straightforward and pretty easy. Alright, that's substitution method. That's our first problem. And the next one is elimination method. So we're going to set up a new system. It's going to look like this. Negative 2y minus 15 equals 8x. Okay. We got 4x plus 5y. Oh, 5. Just 5. Sorry. It's hard to read these problems with the light. Plus 5 equals negative y. Okay, so what we want to do for this one is we want to be able to we want to eliminate one of these. So we want to be able to cross a y or x value out respectively. and you almost want them to be matching, right? So for example, here, if we were kind of eliminating y, you'd want this to be negative 2y, and this would be positive y. But obviously, it's a little bit mixed up right now, so we're going to go ahead and rearrange it first. So let's go ahead and do that with this top one. So we can go do this. Minus 14 equals 8x minus 8x. So it kind of rearranges the equation a little bit. That gives us negative 8x minus 2y equals negative 15. And we can set up our bottom equation here. Now again, this one is also not in the correct order either, as the y is not matching. So we can go ahead and fix that as well. So let's go ahead and add y. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and set up that system again. We'll set up on the right side. So it's going to look like negative 8x minus 2y equals negative 15 with 4x plus y equals 5. And you can see here that they kind of match up a bit more better. So x, x, y, y. You need this form to do elimination methods, so it's important that we get here by doing some rearranging. Let's go ahead and erase this. We have a little bit more room. Okay, so what we can do is we can times this bottom one times 2 to make it eliminate this top x. So let's go ahead and do that. So that gives us negative 8x minus 2y equals negative 15, and then 8x plus 2y equals 10. So these cancel and these cancel. So what does that mean? That gives us a 0, actually, and also make sure you do these. Essentially just add them together or combine them, so that gives us negative 5. So these become a 0 as both of these cancel out. So it equals negative 5. This is actually no solution as both the x value and y value cancel. If they didn't cancel, we'd follow similar steps as we did to a substitution method and find it that way. But this is that problem, so important to note that. Alrighty, cool. That's 6 and 7.